Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So, I don't particularly really like to talk about the Michael Jackson pedophile stuff because I think Michael Jackson's a virgin. I think he was given away as a child, which caused all of the damage, and all this stuff is causing him to feel like an orphan, which leads to all the Peter Pan stuff, all of the isolation, and all of that stuff. So I don't think he's a pedophile, but the actual facts of the case are that he did spend a lot of time with these kids. And with him being an adult and with him showing affection towards those kids, Michael's got a problem. There is an actual problem here. There's things there that is about what did he actually do and what kind of damage is there as far as the legal, to him. Did you actually damage these kids? If there isn't damage that occurred because he is an adult dealing with children, then they're entitled to be financially rewarded for that, compensated for their damage that was done, because when you're a kid, you're not able to be aware of the situations in which you're putting yourself in because you're a minor. Now you say, well, the parent's supposed to take responsibility for that, but she's manipulated too, and we could say that stuff and whatever, all this stuff. But so what happened here is, I keep saying that once Leaving Neverland came out, I knew that, okay, if you have those two boys making the statements of what they're saying, once we get to court, that it's going to go bad because we're on a different level now. Because they can prove that they were with Michael. And then if they're going to say that they're having sex and Michael did this stuff, there's nobody to discredit. It's going to come down to, do you believe them? Because it's going to be believable that Michael would have done that to him because of the life in which he led. And so what's happened now is the court case thing that's happening there was a statute of limitations thing that was put on there. And that's why they were saying that they were not going to be able to get this to go to court, and they were not going to actually be able to succeed to actually even get it to go to court because of the statute of limitations things that happened. But what happened, if you people don't know what happened here in this court thing when they're coming out saying it was good for them, the actual thing that happened, to me, it's like, well, they won. They've already won. Just the court ruling, the fact that they've came up with this new rule in court, and to me, it's like, well, if they've heard under this new ruling, and the judge now has decided that they're allowed to continue on this procedure, where they're going. What happened is, the new court ruling says that when you're a victim of a pedophile or sexual child abuse, what happens is a lot of those people don't know that they were actually victimized for a long time. And so what happens now is they said the statute of limitations now does not revolve around when the crime occurred. The actual statute of limitations now revolves around when the person realizes that they were victimized. Okay? This is what happened in court. This is the actual thing. And when you actually understand that stipulation of what they're saying, it's like, okay, well, if they're saying that the new realization of the victimization that occurred from Michael Jackson, that this has occurred more recently, right? And the judge is now saying that, yes, there is a new law that says that when you're now aware that you've been victimized, that's the stipulation. When the judge says now that, okay, that through this stipulation, that now that you're aware of it, now we can go to court and we'll have the process. But when the judge says, when he says to him, when he's acknowledging that you're saying you're aware now, that you're claiming that you're aware to being a victim, the judge is kind of like acknowledging that he's a victim. There has to be something where they had to be able to prove to the judge that they were in a position to be victims. If they don't have that proof, then the judge will not allow it to go on, because he's saying, well, there's no proof that you ever were victimized, so why would I do it now? Because you can't show me there's any proof. What happened is these guys were able to show the court that they were put in a position to become victims by Michael Jackson. They proved that. And now the judge now has allowed this to go through. So it's like, okay, well, if they proved that, if they proved that they were in a position to be victimized by Michael Jackson, now all we're going to be left with in a court case is, do you trust them when they say he actually sexually abused me? That's what it's going to come down to in a courtroom. And when you have these guys now where we're at, and with Michael Jackson's image being the way it is, and now with all this stuff and and then what's going to happen is they go to court, they're going to be believed, because the people in the courtroom, it's going to be so incredibly hard for them to stand up and say, no, I do not believe what you're saying, because there's not going to be any evidence there to disprove, because the reality is Michael was hanging out with these kids. The reality is Michael's calling himself Peter Pan, living in the Neverland Ranch. The reality is Michael did not have sexual relationships with women. This is all common knowledge of what the public is aware of. And the public now is going to say, Michael Jackson, if these kids are saying that he was sexually abusing them, a jury is going to believe that. And these guys are going to win now. And they're going to win within the context of officially documenting Michael Jackson as a pedophile. That's why I keep trying to say to the people, it's like, oh boy, okay, the MJ innocent people, you're pathetic. You can't do anything. There's nothing that you can do to get into this fight. You're pathetic. You're so weak. The people that are like, the MJ's not innocent, they've got the better story, and they're not going to back down. They're going to defend these guys. If these guys say Michael touched him, then they're going to believe it. They're not going to they're going to stand by that statement. So what you have to do is you're going to have to prove that Michael Jackson would not have sex with him, that that's not in the nature of what he was. But the evidence of him being Peter Pan, living in Neverland Ranch, and all of the stuff, listening to Shirley Temple and being into the Disney stuff, all of the stuff of the character and the area of what he claims to be and hanging out with kids and all this stuff, all of that looks to be of the nature of a pedophile. So in a courtroom, you're not going to be able to prove that, oh, Michael's a good guy. No, because all of that has been turned now into a grooming method, that Michael was grooming these kids because he had sexual fantasies. Because if these kids now are saying that Michael sexually abused them, then that says that his whole essence of who he was not for the betterment, and he didn't care about children. What he actually was a sexual deviant, and all of that was going to be used as grooming techniques over the kids, which that's what they're saying he did. Okay, they're going to win. All of the evidence points to Michael being a pedophile. All of the evidence shows Michael hanging around with kids and having them in his bed, taking them on trips with him, sleeping in hotel rooms, just over and over. The abundance of Michael spending time with the kids, it's proven, documented, but you can't find that with women. You're not going to find all these women talking like this, having all these relationships with Michael. You will never ever find anything even close to the relationships Michael had with these kids to what women. There's no comparison. So what I'm saying is, since you can't find it with women, but you can find it with kids, these kids are going to be believed. If they say he had sex with me, they're going to be believed. They're going to win. This is happening. Michael's on the verge of being totally destroyed. This is coming, and now there's a new biopic movie that they're going to be doing about Michael Jackson. And then it's approved by the Michael Jackson estate. And so they approved this project. But I think that the Michael Jackson estate, what they're going to do is they're trying to protect themselves, the Jacksons, and they're going to allow Michael to be decimated as a deviant. They're going to allow him to be the weirdo. They're going to allow that to occur. But they're going to still be the Jacksons, because the whole Jackson image, there's still a lot there that they can hold on to as the American dream. It's not their fault that Michael turned into the weirdo. They're going to say, we did our job. We raised our as a talent. We gave him all the opportunity and to do all the things of what he did. It's not our fault that he turned into a wacko. That's what the estate's going to allow to happen now. This is what's going on. Michael's going to be attacked literally from the estate. The estate's going to allow Michael these. And you think the estate's going to back my story and to say that Michael's not a Blood Jackson, and then that decimates all of the talent and all of the experience with the Jacksons. It puts them on a bad side that now they were controlling over Michael. Now they're the reason that caused his problems. Do you think they're going to ever allow that? No. Hell no. Do you think that they're going to stand up and justify Michael's problems, that it was their fucking fault? No. That is never going to happen. Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, Barry Gordy, you think they're ever going to stand up and justify and say, oh, I'm sorry, Michael didn't have problems. It was us. It was our fault. They're never going to fucking do that. And then people keep saying, oh, nobody's ever going to back my shit unless the fans do it. The media will never back. Do you think the media is going to back my story when my story proves that the media for freaking 40 years while they were following the Jacksons, Michael Jackson story, that they were completely freaking clueless and not capable of actually doing the job that they're actually being paid to do? They freaking missed the whole thing. My story proves that the media is a complete sham, that the actual what they're doing, it's gossip rag trash. It's not real media. It's not real news. I freaking dismantle all of that. My story proves it. You think they're going to back me? No. This can only be done by the fans. That's why I'm here, trying to find Michael Jackson fans to want to actually defend him. Because my story's the one. But in the essence of defending Michael, you got to get real. See, that's the other thing. All these people, they have an agenda. You can always tell. Everybody speaks from the point of view of their agenda. I don't. I clearly am speaking from trying to get the truth. My agenda is the truth, and I'm willing to accept all forms of the truth. And now, in my truth, I say that these kids need to be paid. They need to be settled because they are victims. I don't think Michael Jackson sexually abused these kids, but I believe that he mentally abused them with a slight edge of a sexual nature thing. That for Michael, he was not thinking it was sexual at all, but the fact that there was a little bit there, and that's what allowed these guys to then develop their form of the abuse that they did have. That's why that form of abuse did develop into a sexual nature, because there's essence of it there. Michael did do that, and he needs to take responsibility for what he did do. These guys need to be paid, and it needs to come out publicly that Michael did abuse these kids on a mental level, but not a sexual level. But the mental level caused these guys to be able to further, because of the pains and the things and how society was, it generated into them that allowed them to think that they were sexually abused. And that's how it works. But it's just a fact that if these guys are standing here believing that they were sexually abused, that means Michael's proven to have mentally abused them. You see, there is a guilt there that Michael did, and I'm not going to back off from all this stuff. I don't think these guys are serious. I don't think they're real, but I think that something occurred in their life that now allows them to be thinking that maybe they were abused. And if they think they were abused, then that proves there was a mental abuse that occurred. Okay? These guys are victims. Now, they're also lying, dirty bastards. They're also that stuff, but they're also victims. They're victims first. And that's the problem. I keep telling you, these victims are going to go to the courtroom and they're going to be believed all the way. It's going to go all the way to Michael being decimated as a pedophile, because that's what everything shows, and that's what's going to be believed. That's what the whole court process is about their not being able to mentally understand the victimization that was occurring to them when they're children. But now that they're going to as a court, as adults, they've already justified saying that why all this stuff, they've already justified them as victims. It's already over. Now, once they go to court and they say they were sexually abusing me, who can go to court to denounce that? And who can override that? Nobody. There's nobody out there that's going to be able to stop that. Nobody. And Michael Jackson is going to be found guilty of sexually abusing these kids. That's going to happen. This is coming. Then what are you people going to do? You know how much harder it's going to be for me to do everything of what I need to do once Michael Jackson's officially proven guilty as a pedophile? Do you know how much harder it is for me to overturn that in the public's image and get all this stuff taken care of? Everybody's going to be looking at me saying, you created this whole fucking story just to fucking... For you're a Michael Jackson fan. You're trying to protect him just like all the other losers. I'm gonna be slammed by all this shit. That's why I keep saying they're losers, they're fake fans. Because I'm the one that's gonna have to deal with all the freaking shit that they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They're stupid, pathetic fans. They have no bearing of the reality of the legal essence of what is taking place here. My story, though, actually shows Michael Jackson as a virgin, actually shows why he was damaged, and Michael's the actual victim. And it shows why he allowed himself to be put in those situations with those kids, where yes, Michael Jackson was getting something off of those kids. There was something there, and I agree that thing that Michael Jackson was getting off of those kids, that amounts to allowing these kids to be justified as victims. They are victims. Michael Jackson did victimize them. He's an adult. He's getting pleasure. He's getting personal things, benefits from these kids. Okay, that happened. That means they are victims and they're entitled to be financially compensated for their victimization of what Michael did to them. But now, the whole essence is the thing of what's going on is Michael is not a pedophile. What he did is because he was orphaned and damaged. He had no family. He had no friends. He couldn't trust in anybody, the media. He had all this stuff, this cold, total lie of which he was living and wrapped up in. But then around these kids, he found that there was a thing there where it allowed him to get pleasure. He was able to find joy in that, okay? Now, he did it. Now, I understand why he did it, but you got to understand the other thing. He was getting joy of that, and he was doing things to kids. He was getting joy from these kids. Those kids are now entitled to be compensated because of what Michael had actually done to them, because those kids are saying they were damaged. They're damaged because of that. If they're saying they're freaking damaged because they're on a mental level and they're having problems in their head dealing with realities, then they're entitled to some compensation because Michael did that. He took from them and got his own personal joys out of it. He's an adult doing it to kids. If he's doing it to different adults, they're not entitled to anything. But kids are entitled. They are victims because they're kids while he's doing this to them. But the whole essence of the thing is there's no way it's a pedophile. Michael Jackson's not a pedophile. He's an orphan. He's damaged. He's a victim. That's the whole thing of why he allowed himself. You know the pains of what Michael Jackson actually had to be dealing with? That's why the pains were so much that when he was getting the pleasure from these kids, yeah, he kept doing it over and over and over. And why would he keep doing it? There's only two freaking reasons. Either he's sexually abusing these guys, or it's my freaking story that proves that he's an orphan, damaged victim. And he's got so much actual pain inside of him that he didn't care what anybody said. He didn't care. He was trying to fill those holes, trying to stop that pain, because it's real pain. It's pain. Michael had pain. He's not going to freaking try to take from that pain, and the pain is all wrapped up in him being victimized as a child. He's not there's no way in the essence and the nature of who that guy is, he would not knowingly victimize a child in that way. No way. That's impossible. There's no way. But did he do the stuff he was doing in an innocent way, not actually understanding that he was damaging the kids because he's not actually having sex with them? He thinks he's actually giving them a great life experience and stuff, right? But the realities are the realities of what they are. And if these guys are who they are now and they're saying they're victims, they're damaged, and you can say all this stuff, it's all about money, but it's a simple reality. We weren't there having Michael Jackson hold our hands, walking us around, okay? The actual reality is, when those photographs, if you're an adult and you look at yourself with Michael Jackson and Michael Jackson's walking you around by the hand, okay? As an adult, you can say now, I feel like he victimized me. Okay, without any of the sexual stuff, you can say, I feel like he was grooming me. There was something that he was doing, because they don't know what it is either. Nobody understands the true essence of what it was that Michael's really damaged the victim, because everybody thinks he's from the Jacksons, this large family. So nobody was able to go to understanding of that Michael's freaking like an orphan, and he's not from the Jacksons, and have any understanding of what actually occurred. Nobody could go there. Nobody goes there, so you go obviously to what everything is showing you then is that Michael maybe he's a pedophile, because that's what the essence of the nature of the life he was living showed. But so who's going to stop the pedophile stuff when all that is what it's looking like? Who's out there that's going to stop that? The MJ innocent people can't stop it. They're too stupid to have any clue about what they're doing they can't stop it. They're pathetic. They're so dumb. They are dumb. Those MJ innocent people are dumb. Every bit of their argument is dumb, because as soon as you say Wade and James was in the bedroom alone with Michael at night, and they say that he sexually abused them, that's it. That's the end of their freaking story. That's done. You cannot defeat that. And that's what's going to happen in the court case. Once this happens now and they get in there, they start saying it, it's over. There's no way you're going to stop that, because all of the proof around there shows that Michael's living like he thinks he's Peter Pan. He's living on Neverland Ranch, hugging on kids. It's not that he's just taking care of kids and he's hugging on these kids. He's saying it's good to share your bed with these kids, okay? It was way beyond like these people, the MJ innocent people. No, Michael had a problem. He's literally saying it's okay to do this shit. And it was obviously, no, it was not okay. The only reason it's okay and we justified it because we say, well, he's not having sex with them. We know Michael, we don't believe he's a pedophile. The people that think he's innocent, they just think he's an angel, and they think that's what they're seeing. That's obviously not what was going on, because there's obviously something else going on to what is allowing him to do that. The only thing that can allow a man like Michael Jackson, the rock star, what could put him in that position? I'm telling you, all of the proof says it's a pedophile. All of the real proof is saying it's a pedophile. Like, I keep telling you, if I was going to switch sides and if I wanted to say Michael's a pedophile, that's the case that's going to win. If I'm here wanting to jump on the side of the winning case, the Michael pedophile, that's the winner. That's where we're going. That's the case that's going to win. The Michael innocent, that's dead. You guys are done. It's destroyed, and it's about to be officially documented in a courtroom. It's about to officially be destroyed. And the freaking Michael Jackson fans, they think they're doing something, but can they put any investigation into my work, which is actually going to stop all of this? No, they're so stupid and pathetic and weak, because the reality is they're wanting to stand out there and act like they're superior over these other people. They're wanting to stand there and act like, I've got knowledge that you don't have. I know things that you don't know. I'm smarter than you. They're playing a stupid freaking kids game. They're pathetic freaking losers. Everybody who sits out there with the MJ innocent, you're a loser. You're not a Michael Jackson fan. You're a fraud. You're fake. You're a total loser. I hate every single one of you. You're worse than the other people, because what you do is you're proving he's guilty too. You're so stupid you don't even know it. You fake fans, you're proving that Michael Jackson's fans are totally susceptible to whatever he wants to make them see, whatever he wants to get them to think. That's what they're going to think. So you are proving that you're totally not credible, and you're proving that Michael has powers over you. You're proving that Michael could do whatever he wants to you, that your victim's waiting to be there because Michael groomed you. Everything about the MJ innocent people and their portrayal of what a MJ fan is, that's gone now. That image of what Michael Jackson is being portrayed, of all the image of what he did for the people and all the goodness, that's being shown now is that he was grooming. He was using that as a grooming technique so he could sexually abuse kids, and that he could get favor from the public, so he could get them to keep financing him, so that he could go and live his wild adventures as a child sexual abuser. That's the world that we're living in. That's where we're going. The MJ innocent people, you only prove it by your guys' demand, the way you guys are in defense of Michael Jackson, the way you're so one-sided. You only prove that Michael Jackson, it worked, that what he did, it worked. It's total mind control and manipulation over his fans. You prove that he has that power. If he's got that power and he's sleeping with kids, then why couldn't he have had the power to sexually manipulate the kids? If he wanted to, and if the kids are saying he was doing it, that's where we're at now. Michael's guilty now. He's lost. There's nobody out there. The family's not going to do anything. They're going to step back from him. They're going to allow him to be taking all the heat while they sit there and they've got all the money. They don't care. They don't care because he wasn't a Jackson. They know in their head anyways, he wasn't one of our kids anyways. He was just some stupid freaking kid that was given to us. He was lucky we ever fucking fed his stupid ass. That's the way the Jacksons think about Michael Jackson. That's the way Joe Jackson treated Michael Jackson his entire fucking life. You wonder why he's fucking dead. God damn it. You think Michael Jackson's out there crying at sleep because of stupid media? Oh, they're saying that I'm sleeping in a freaking hyperbolic chamber. Oh my God, it's destroyed my fucking life. I can't live. Oh, I gotta do drugs to deal with this fucking pain. That's nothing. That is fucking nothing. All that stupid gossip shit is fucking comedy to Michael Jackson. That fucking shit would never have done the damage to him mentally, psychologically. That would have put him in a fucking comatose state in the end of his life, trying to avoid all the fucking mental pains of what he was fucking dealing with. What caused those fucking pains? You think that the fucking pain that has caused him, you think he got that pain from being a fucking rock star? Are you stupid as fuck? That's the best fucking life ever. He got to be a fucking rock star as a kid. It's the best fucking life ever. You stupid morons. When Michael Jackson's saying I didn't have a childhood, it don't have anything to do with the fucking... He loved being a rock star. He loved being on stage. He loves performing. Every bit and every essence of accomplishment that made him greatness was there. And then you're going to say that you're going to justify his explanation of not having a childhood through the fucking being on stage, which is the greatest thing about his whole fucking life that he enjoyed more than anything. You're stupid. God damn. Fucking loser motherfuckers. Fuck.